We are here today because we have to talk about the next special election. And so by special election, we mean this obviously was not an election that was on schedule. This election is um, called within the last couple months, really. We knew about this, something could happen. And as you know, if you keep track of your news, it could have been appointed, it could have been election. And so the district decided that they wanted to have an election. And so today we'll be talking about this. Okay, next, please. As Ryan said, this is open to the public. It's a recorded workshop, and we ask you to kindly raise your hand or click on the button to raise your hand so we can then take in your questions and then provide the question and then the answer to this community. Next. Ah, and so we had a slight change of plans for today. So today, actually, the presenter is me. My name is Paulo Chang. I work at Precinct Operations Division here at Santa Clara County Registrar of Voters. On the Zoom meeting itself is Ryan Stoller. He's handling the Zoom meeting for me today. Okay, and so any questions you have again, please feel free to ask, or we'll come back to this at the end of the presentation, where I plan to also give you a tour of our webpage so you can see where all the information you may be asking for is available. Next. A quick update or a quick review to all of you. I think that some of you already may know this, but just for those of you who are perhaps joining us for the first time, Santa Clara County is a Voters' Choice Act county. In other words, we have modernized our system, we use new technology, and that allows us to provide early voting days to all of you. It allows us to mail a ballot to every single voter or every registered and eligible voter in the county of Santa Clara. As you can see, we are not the only counties in Santa Clara County, I'm sorry, in the state of California, who are Voters' Choice Act counties. So there's more than 28, I believe, at the moment. And so there's quite a few of the counties in the state that provide, in other words, that mail their vote by mail ballots to their voters and also open early to allow voters to vote before election day. So no one has to wait until election day to vote, not in these counties. And I'll talk more about this in a few more minutes. Meanwhile, if you do want to find information about the Voters' Choice Act, please visit the California Secretary of State's webpage, and that is www.sos.ca.gov. Next, please. This is just a snapshot, if you will, of our webpage. I have this here to show you that we do have translated versions in all these languages. Basically, right here we have Chinese, Spanish, Tagalog, Vietnamese, Hindi, Thai, Japan. I'm sorry, not Thai, Khmer, Japanese, and also Korean. All right, so these are some of the languages that we provide access. Here is one of those web pages. This is, for example, our web page that is translated into Spanish, and so basically from our homepage, at the very top of our homepage, you'll see the languages that we have translated into. Click on that language. In this example, you would have clicked on Spanish, and then you have been brought up to this web page. Scroll to the bottom of the web page, and you see the most popular services. All right. Here, I'm highlighting how to find your district because of obviously this election is only for residents and eligible voters of District 3. And so many people will come and ask us, hey, I live at this address in the city of San Jose. Do I get to vote? Do I not get to vote? And so we point questions, point those people to this link so they can enter the information. And I'll show more of this to you later in the presentation. Next. Okay, this is the English version. Okay. All right, next one, what we have here is the elections tab for us. What you see here is basically where we keep the most recent elections information. As you can see, we have added the April 8th election. And should we have a runoff election, we'll add another one for the runoff election, which at the moment is, or it's in fact, it's already scheduled for June 24th, should there be a need for one. But this is where you can find everything about elections, including if you see about 2 clicks down from where it says April 8th, Mythbusters. All right. So if anyone ever tells you tall tales and things that they've seen on social media that they think sounds doesn't sound right, then please have them and have yourself come and visit our Mythbusters webpage, because that's where we put all the information of how we process voters, of how the voting system works in this county, so that there's no doubt and people don't have to guess. Okay, so everything is here. Next. Again, this is just to show you when you click on that April 8th link, it'll take you to this web page. This web page tells you what this election is for. And as you can see, we have the buttons for the different languages, 8 languages translated on our web page. So if you click on any one of those, for example, Tagalog, you'll be taken to the same page already translating Tagalog, where you can follow information and then follow with any web page that you should follow through. Next. And so this is District 3. So I already mentioned to this, I already alluded to this. And so who can vote this election? We have about 10 of you joining us tonight, and some of you live in San Jose, in the city of San Jose. But does that mean you get to vote in the city of San Jose? Only if where you live is actually within or inside District 3. So District 3 voters, they will receive a vote by mail ballot in the mailbox. You'll also receive a civic booklet, which I'll show you a little bit later on. And so if you get a mail ballot in the mail, if you get a civic booklet, that means that you then are eligible to vote this election. Okay, that means you're one of the about 47,000 voters who are eligible to vote this upcoming election. Next. The voting dates. Let's talk about voting dates. So early voting day starts actually on March 10th. You can actually vote here in our office starting on March 10th. Also, by March 10th, some of you will already have received the vote by mail ballot, meaning you can get your vote by mail ballot, make a decision, make your selections, put your ballot inside the envelope, seal it, sign it, and bring it to us or drop it at one of our drop boxes. Vote centers, they will open on March 29th, 2025. March 29th is a Saturday. In fact, March 29th is 2 Saturdays before Election Day. And so in other words, you'll have 2 full weekends, 10 full days to vote before Election Day. Election Day is on Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. Voting hours on Election Day, 7 a.m. through 8 p.m. Next. And so what is on the ballot? Okay, so you will be voting for a council member in District 3. This is to cover partial and unexpired terms. The possible runoff election, as I mentioned to you, would be June 24th, 2025. Next. For those of you who would like more of a visual idea of the actual area of District 3, here you go. Okay, and so this is a map of the eligible area in District 3 that can vote for this specific contest. If you live in this border, within the borders, then you get to vote. That includes, for example, San Jose State. If you happen to be a student at San Jose State and you live in the dorms or you live right inside this block, this area, you're eligible to vote. Including here, also actually including the same area is our office. The Register of Voters office is in District 3, right off of Old Oakland Road. And so if you live right around Burger Drive, you get to vote in District 3. Right at the very top, it's also the SCOE. It's also the Santa Clara County Office of Education. There's a bunch of residential apartments here. If you live in those apartments, you get to vote. Okay, and so there's more ways for you to find if you're eligible to vote or not, and we'll show that to you after my presentation. Next. In fact, I'm going to show you right now. Look up your district. And so when you are on our webpage, click on the Register to Vote tab. That will open up drop-down menu. On the drop-down menu, you will see the question, am I registered to vote? Click on it, and next, please. And as soon as you click on it, it'll take you to this, or actually, this is another page. You can also scroll down to the Popular Services webpage, and on the Popular Services webpage, it'll tell you where you can look for your district. Okay, again, same thing, just follow the clues. Again, this specific section of our web page is already translated, so you'll be able to find this in one of the 8 languages that we support already. This is the actual lookup district application. This is our own application. You can come here. As you can see, we offer different things. You can find, for example, at the very top, look up your voter registration. If your name shows up, that means you are registered to vote. Uh, the second option will be find a vote center. If you want to vote in person, click on find a vote center and enter the address of where you are, and it'll show you the nearest vote center. But if you're not sure if you are eligible to vote for District 3, then you want to scroll on the left all the way down. The second from the bottom is called look up your districts. And then what you do at the next slide, please. Let's see. And then what you do, basically, you enter your address. And when you click your address, it will then tell you yes, or it actually will tell you the assembly, the council members, tell you everything about where you live. And then if you see that you in fact belong to District 3, again, that means that you are eligible to vote this election. Okay, next. These are the mailers we send out to you. I already mentioned that if you get the vote by mail ballot and if you get a civic, you're eligible to vote. Well, add this mailer to your mailbox. If each member of your household is eligible to vote this election, each member of your household will get one of these cards. This is for each individual. And so in your household, let's say you have 4 residents, 3 of you are of voting age, 3 of you live in District 3, then you will get 3 of these cards for each of your eligible voters to, as a reminder of the election that is coming up on April 8th and for you to vote. This card contains a QR code. The QR code contains the information related to the election, where you can find your vote center, what you have to do, and so forth. Everything you know is here. And if you flip the card, you will see that the same information is already translated into those languages. Next, please. Here it is. Again, I already mentioned the CIVIC. The CIVIC basically is an acronym for County Voter Information Guide. This is the guide that is sent to all of you. This guide contains information about voter accessibility, contains information about your nearest vote center, contains information about where you can drop off the ballots. Most importantly, tells you what is on the ballot. Obviously, for District 3, there's only one thing for you to vote, but if this was, for example, the election that we just had in November, it would show everything that you are eligible to vote as a resident of that specific address. We do have electronic versions available. I'll tell you more about that when we go to the Go Green webpage. Thank you, Ryan. The County Voter Information Guide, unlike the language that we have on the webpage, we are only required to show this or translate it into 5 languages. They are Chinese, Spanish, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and of course in English. We do have this booklet that is sent to every one of you. This one is always sent to all of you in English. And so regardless if you have selected a preferred language, every voter receives one of these booklets in English. And if by chance you select, for example, Spanish, then you will also get a version in Spanish. Many of you love this book because this guide provides to you all the information you need you're looking for. And also, of course, many of you like to write notes as to why and how you would like to vote any specific way for the different contests. Next. Now, before we get started, for the election, it's important that you update your address before every election. Now, some of us do move around, and if you do move around, we need to know that, because if I don't know that you moved, for example, from one area of the county to a different area of the county, then we assume that you are at the address that we have on file, and we'll be sending your ballot and your civic and your mailer to that same address. Okay, and so it's important that you update so that we have the latest, and so that you always get information that you need to receive at the correct address. You still have time to update this information. You can do this at the vote center when you check in. You can also call. In fact, at the vote center, you ask for the voter action request form, which is a VAR form in short, and it's a purple form. It's a dark purple form. Okay, you can do this, or also, of course, you can call it. You can visit our office at Burger Drive, and you can do this then in person. Okay. Now, of course, this is important. Every time you move, you should update so that you know at the next election you will get the information and you'll be eligible to vote for your local contests. Next. Okay, now a little bit more information about District 3. Specifically to this election, the last day for you to register would be March 24th. You can do so online if you like to. The last day to request a replacement ballot to be mailed to you via U.S. Post Office will be April 1st. And of course, to update your registration, specifically to change your name or political party, you actually need to fully re-register to vote. If you only want to change your address, then you only file the form that I was mentioning in the previous slide, the VARF, which is again dark purple form. But if you actually, for example, are changing your name, let's say your legal name changed for some reason, you're changing your political party, then you absolutely need to re-register. Now, this of course, in terms of changing the name, that's important, but in terms of political parties, not important for this election because it is a general open election for anyone to vote for this specific contest on April 8th. Next. Let's get into you ensuring that you get to vote, okay? Vote early, vote from home, or vote in person. Vote by mail starts on March 10th. You'll be receiving ballots around that time or starting around March 10th. You can also vote in person at our office starting on March 10th. Regular business hours applies. In other words, 8 to 5, and we are open through lunchtime. So if you're nearby, if you'd like to vote at our office, come on by. Obviously, Monday to Friday, though we'll be opening our main office the weekend before election day, specific dates, specific times. So please visit our webpage for the latest information and the most accurate information always. If you would like to vote in person, we're going to have 3 vote centers for you throughout District 3, and they're very convenient. I mean, District 3 it's pretty nearby. Everything's going to be close by. The vote centers will be open for business or for you to vote 9 to 5, basically 8 hours, continuous 8 hours. And so we'll be rotating to take our lunch breaks and our uh, daily breaks, but will always be available to you. So if you again live nearby to us, for example, Joyce Ellington Public Library will be a vote center. If you are staff that works at Joyce Ellington, guess what? You can work at Joyce Ellington and you can vote at Joyce Ellington, and then you can still have your lunch and not miss a bit. Okay. Election day hours, of course, as I mentioned, will always be 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Next. These are the vote centers. All right. So early voting days will be Saturday, March 29th through April 7th, 9 to 5. That includes our office. On election day, as I mentioned, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. The 3 vote centers we have for this election will be Joyce Ellington Branch Library in San Jose, Olinger Community Center, the community room on 848 East William Street, and also the Center for Employment Training Banquet Room at 701 Vine Street in San Jose. So those of you who have been voting in person might recognize some of these sites. We have already used these locations as vote centers, depending on the election itself. But these have been long-standing partners, and we thank these locations, these facilities, for providing the services. And we sure hope that you, as the voter, you either vote from home, so you don't have to, travel anywhere. But if you'd like to vote in person, these are your options to you, plus our main office at Burger Drive at 1555 Building 2, Burger Drive. Next, please. And now we'll talk about the drop box. So we will have several drop boxes. These are some of them. And so they are throughout District 3. We have one right outside of Registrar of Voters Office, and then the other locations, including City Hall, again, Joyce Ellington, the Biblioteca Latinoamericana, the East Side Jose Carnegie Library, and then the Santa Clara County Civic Center. Because these facilities are big, some of these are big campuses, please do pay attention to the specific location where we have it. For example, at Santa Clara County Civic Center, you want to look for this box outside on the West Wing building side of the campus, right? So that's where you find the box. These will be opened starting basically on March 10th, I believe, or the first day of voting, and they'll be available to you. And then on election night at 8 o'clock, our crew will be going out there, close these boxes so that nothing else is accepted after 8 p.m. All right. Meanwhile, we will be regularly picking up the ballots from these boxes. You see a picture at the top right corner. That is actually obviously one of our boxes. This is what our boxes look like. We do have another set of boxes that we had at a different time. It's a slightly separate batch, but that box may look slightly different, but as long as you see our seal, as long as it says register of voters, then you are good to go. This is our official drop box. Now, you can also vote at the ratio of voters, as I said, okay? And so some of you already know this, some of you don't know about this, but the ratio of voters, we don't count it as a vote center, but it is a location where you can vote. The address is 1555 Burger Drive, Building 2. Building 2 because there's two big buildings. Building 2 is the main building. That's where all of you anyways know where to go to, so it becomes natural for all of you. We do have a drop box outside. You don't actually have to come in to Burger Drive building itself. You can actually drive, hop off of your car, and then right around it, you see the drop box right by the flagpole. This box is open 24 hours. And this one we do check on a daily basis. So you can drop in anytime you want, after work, before you go to work, on the weekend, after hours, as best as you can do throughout your day. We do have an additional indoors drop box that is in the atrium, and that is there regular business hours because the building does close to the public starting at 5 p.m. And so when you come in, you'll see that. Obviously, if you'd like to do so, you can drop this off in person to us at our counter. And again, regular business hours apply. We are open at lunchtime. Come on in, say hi to us, and we'll be glad to take your ballot. But we do also have a drop box right on the wall. You go in, drop it off, and off you go. Okay, and so this will be right now. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, when we open on March 10th, but also through election day, you can just drop it in anytime you want. Okay, so all this will be Burger Drive. In fact, you can look at the background picture. That's a picture, a detail of our lobby, and it's a great place to be. So come visit us. Okay, next, please. So what we have in here is an example of the mail ballot that you'll be mailing back to our office. All of you, as long as you are an eligible voter, you will receive a packet on your mailbox starting 29 days before Election Day. There'll be a white packet. Inside that packet, you will find this blue envelope. You will find your ballot, and you will find your I voted sticker. You will also find a list of the vote centers and the list of the drop boxes. So this is what you want to look at. Um, this is what you should expect to receive at your home, and this is the most convenient way for you to vote from your home. You'll have this 29 days prior to election. If you're not quite sure how you want to vote, that's fine. Okay, you'll have time to think about that. And then once you know how you want to vote, then you can drop this in the mailbox. If you do this at least, let's say, 3 business days before election day, if you live right here in City San Jose, or you can drop it off at one of our official drop boxes, or of course you can drop it off at one of our 3 vote centers. And if you wish to do so, because our office at Burger Drive is in District 3, you feel free to drop it in at our campus here at Burger Drive. The more important thing, though, is that the bottom right corner, that image that you see is the back of that blue envelope. You do have to sign it, okay? If you bring your spouse's ballot, she or he must give you permission. In other words, just sign to say, yes, 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 I'm allowing so-and-so to bring my ballot to be dropped off, okay? And so that's perfectly fine. And that happens all the time in households where one person is the designated delivery person for all these ballots. Next. Again, or I haven't mentioned this, but these have to be dropped off to us by 8 p.m. on election day. they have to be postmarked. If you bring your VBM ballot or your vote by mail ballot to a drop box and you or a USPS box, if you drop this off at a USPS box by 8 o'clock and is picked up, then obviously when it goes to the USPS processing center, they know it's a ballot because it's in that same night at that time. They'll timestamp it, and we know that it's to be accepted. Okay. Otherwise, again, don't wait to the last minute. You'll have 29 days to turn this in. Turn this in for this election. It's a simple contest. It's a hopefully an easy choice for you to make. And so you can wait, but please don't wait any longer than the weekend before election day. As you can see, these do include paid postage, prepaid postage. So when you are ready to give this to us, make sure that you seal the back flap, you print your name, you sign your name, and then drop it in the mailbox or into one of our approved boxes. Again, you can drop this anywhere, really. Okay, as you can notice, I keep reminding you, drop it anywhere. We want to make sure that you get to vote. All right, vote voting has become convenient for everyone in the state of California, and especially to all of us here in Santa Clara County. So please, you'll get these ballots early on. There's not much for you to decide. It's not a primary, so you don't have to wait to see who's going to drop, who's going to stay, who you'd like to vote for. It'll be a straightforward selection. So get to vote. And again, any type of information you need, especially let's say you want to find the Dropbox, you can find it at our webpage at seccvote.org, or you can mail it in, but please make sure that you mail it in with enough time to make sure that it's postmarked by 8 p.m. of election day. The vote centers, as I mentioned already, 3 vote centers, feel free to drop it off. Okay. If you know that you work near, for example, Joyce Ellington Library, then you can bring your belt with you to your job, to your work, or as you drive by. If your kids like to go to this library, when you bring your kids, for example, to pick up or drop a book, guess what? You can drop off your VBM ballot. Okay. And as I already mentioned, you can do the same thing at our office here at Burger Drive. Let's talk about the ballots themselves, okay? And so now we're going a little bit into eligibility, not eligibility, I'm sorry, to accessibility and a few other things, okay? But when you want to vote, when you are ready to vote in Santa Clara County, you can ask for a paper ballot, a touchscreen ballot, or an audio ballot. And they all are available to you in Chinese, English, Hindi, Japanese, Khmer, Korean, Spanish, Tagalog, Vietnamese. We also have facsimiles. Facsimiles basically are a piece of paper replicating the ballot in terms of information of in these languages. All right. These facsimiles typically we have in 5 languages, but for District 3, there's not enough Nepali speakers or registered voters. And so we will have Gujarati facsimiles, Punjabi facsimiles, Telugu facsimiles, and Tamil facsimiles, but no Nepali for this time around. Okay, otherwise you'll see them at every election of ours. In fact, this is the first time that we don't have a Nepali facsimile need because there's not enough or there's not registered voters who have selected that language in our county. Other than that, we do provide bilingual support at our vote centers, not only for the 9 languages plus these 5 languages, but we provide languages, as many languages as we can find. Okay, we don't have a need for French ballots, but if we have someone that signs up to who doesn't speak French, guess what? Now we have a French speaker who can assist any naturalized French citizen that becomes a U.S. citizen, for example, and gets to vote in this country. Okay, so there you go. So again, bilingual support is available at all vote centers to help you as you need our assistance. So let us know and we will assist you. This is how to mark your ballot, right? In the beginning, there was a lot of talk about, I don't want to use a Sharpie because the Sharpie is too thick, because the Sharpie blots my ballot. And you know what? That's not necessarily true. Okay, the Sharpie is thick, but it's perfect because we need that to fill the oval. Okay. Also, the best thing about the Sharpie is that the ink dries very, very, very fast. Okay, and as you can see, because the Sharpie is a marker, you basically just need one layer to mark your ballot and you're done. In other words, with one action, swift action, you can actually fill that bubble and get your selection in. Okay. You can also use the Sharpie to write in. All right. Please note that the bubbles this time will be to the left of the nomination that you are seeking to vote for, okay, or the person that you voted for, and it'll be different this time, okay. But other than that, we do ask all of you to use Sharpies or any marker that's very quick and fast drying ink. Vote any vote center, as I mentioned to you already. You can vote any vote center because they're all and only for District 3. So the ballot will be exactly the same for all of you. We do provide touchscreen voting, audio ballots, and curbside voting. I'll talk more about this in a few minutes. Bilingual ballots are always available. Assistance is always available. In fact, majority of our workers are bilingual staff. We do provide same-day voter registration. In other words, if you somehow don't have an opportunity to re-register, to update your information, you can do so on election day or at any one of our vote centers, or even better, before election day. Okay. Again, always at the vote centers, you can actually update your voter registration. Let's say you used to live in Gilroy and now you move to, let's say you're a student. I'll use a student because that's a good example. A student from Gilroy has now turned college age and is 18 years old and is eligible to vote in County Santa Clara. And now they're living on campus at San Jose State University. Guess what? This person gets to vote. But if we don't know that the student has moved from Gilroy to San Jose, then this person is not eligible to vote. But they can actually walk into our vote center, find their name, and then update your address on the spot. And because they are now a resident of District 3, for example, they go to San Jose State University, they will be able to vote for this specific contest. Okay. And so this is why it's important that all of us update our voter registration address when we move from place to place. Also, if you're a mail ballot voter and you make a mistake on your mail ballot, that's okay. Come to us at our vote center and we'll issue you a replacement. If you make a mistake early enough, let's say up to 7-10 days before election day, you can call our main line. And in fact, you can follow the instructions on your mail ballot and it'll tell you how to get that ballot replaced. We do also provide curbside voting, and I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Okay, next, please. Early vote center hours is already mentioned to you guys. Vote centers have to be open 8 hours, continuous hours. And so we will work through lunchtime and then through our breaks. And we'll take our time taking our breaks so that you get to vote. Okay, so come on in and vote. Early voting days days will be Saturday, March 29th through Monday, April 7th. On April 8th, there'll be election day and there'll be a 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. voting day. If you do have any questions, if you would like some sort of support, if you would like to learn more about voting, please call us for general information at 408-299-VOTE. Also, we do have toll-free numbers at 866-430-VOTE. That's 8683. And so, again, anything you want to know about election, if you have any questions about your voter registration, about voting process itself, give us a call. We can help you. We can give you all the information you're looking for. Next. Okay, accessible voting. This is basically, I just want to show you where we have some of this information, okay? You can actually find this information in our Civic. You can also find it on our webpage. And basically, this is just us letting you know that we do understand the needs of all voters. We do provide services for voter accessibility to all of you. We will work very hard to make sure that all of our voters have the ability to vote when they are eligible to vote. All right, next slide. This is our touchscreen voting machine. Now, on the previous slide, I did mention we did have a line about audio voting. Guess what? This is how you are able to vote an audio ballot or a touchscreen ballot. These touchscreen voting machines will have several of these at the vote centers, and this will be available to anyone who asks to vote electronically or on a touchscreen voting machine. And so it's very easy to use, especially these days. We're all used to using touchscreen. Your smart cell phone is a touchscreen. And so it's very easy to use and it's convenient. Okay. And for all of us, it works even better because now you can zoom in, zoom out. You can actually change the language as you go. And also, if you select, you make one selection and then later you change your mind, you can go all the way back and deselect that selection that you made and put in a new selection that you want for. Okay, so this is better than paper because on paper you make a mistake, you have to get a reissue ballot, and then you have to go through all of your selections again versus on a touchscreen ballot, you have the time and you have the ability to go back and forth to make all the selections and take your time. All right, so this is up for you. Now, next to it, obviously the back screen is a touch screen. It's dark because it's not activated. To the left of it is the printer. And basically, when you make your ballot selections, then you cast the ballot or you print your ballot. The ballot comes out of the printer and now you bring it to scan it. It's a little bit harder to see, and I'll show that on a different slide, but you see there's an apparatus, there's a machine on the table. That's Ryan's pointing to you guys. That is actually the audio controller for the audio ballot. All right. So the ballot itself is being translated into a voice ballot. And so voters can vote an audio ballot also on this machine. We follow the same standard that's used for all industries where they provide services for the visually impaired. And so we do have this audio ballot available to all of you. Next. And so this slide just touches on many things I already mentioned, okay? But the more important thing is that we do provide this for voters who may have accessibility issues in different ways, okay? We do have, for example, voters who require a way to make their selections on the screen. We do have a stylus that you can adapt to your hands, to your means of making the selection, and that will allow you to then use our own stylus that's provided to you to then make the selection that you would like to vote for, okay? More importantly, as I mentioned already in the previous slide, this is available to you in 9 languages, okay? So one machine has the ballots in all those languages. It's up to you, the voter, to come in, insert the card, select the language, and initiate your voting. That's simple. This is the ATI. This is the actual contraption or the machine or the controller that we have at each of the touchscreen machines. So for example, if at one of the vote centers we have 6 voting machines or touchscreen machines, then all 6 will be available as also audio ballot voting machines. Okay, so this is what you're seeing here. As you can see, the buttons are large, they are in different colors, and that's because some voters do have vision. Some voters are able to see shapes, are able to see colors, and some of them are, different degrees of, for example, legally blind accessibility. And so this is pretty much a standard that we use or that the industry has for these needs. And so this is what we've been using now for several years in our county. And I think it's worked out pretty good for the voters who have requested this service. Next. Now, this is the final piece of the puzzle, okay? So when you get your ballots, when you print your ballots from the touchscreen voting machine, or if you ask to vote in person on a paper ballot, or if you'd like to vote your vote by mail ballot, you can come to our vote centers and feed it through the scanner, okay? When you feed it to the scanner, it'll actually give you a review of the selections, and then it's up to you to cast the ballot or to return the ballot back to you. Okay, 99% of your voters, you already reviewed your ballots at home, you already reviewed it on the machine, you already reviewed that at the booth, so you're more than ready to go. And so most of the voters just bring the ballot to the scanner, feed it in one at a time, okay, and then press the cast, and then one card at a time will be then read and taken as counted. And that is your official casting of the ballot. Next. Okay, so what I would like to talk about now is our online presence. Okay, we are available online. We do have accounts on social media, on X. We're also on Facebook. We're on Instagram, and we're also on YouTube. You will find this information in several languages. Also on YouTube, we have a bunch of videos that are also supported by the American Sign Language interpreters. Okay, And the little house in green, that's our Go Green reference. Okay, so we'll go to that later on. But then again, everything that I have talked to all of you, you can find this on our webpage. Okay, and so please always refer to our webpage for all the information that you're looking for. You see the next slide? This is just one of the examples that we have. For example, this was social media post that we did have for last November election. This is Julia. She's our manager at voter registration. And so this one is in Spanish, okay? And so we do have these campaigns to bring voter alertness, to bring awareness, to bring all of you to make sure that you vote in different languages. And so I would ask all of you that anytime you see these postings on our social media, please forward to your friends, post it in your stories, send it to everyone you know, and do a hashtag as of SEC vote, because that is the best way to promote voting and to remind your fellow uh, colleagues, humans, relatives, and anyone that you have in your life to vote. Okay, obviously for this election, they have to be eligible to vote for District 3. Next. This is our Go Green plugin for you guys. Okay, so this is for us informing you that we do provide the Civic. That's what you see there. There's a copy of the Civic, the County Vote Information Guide, but that's a lot of paper. Okay, and so for those of you who perhaps prefer a PDF, then you can actually let us know that you would like to switch from paper copy to a PDF version that you can access from your smartphone or any other electronic device you have and have it with you at all times. Okay, and so it's very easy to do this. You can go to our webpage, find the Go Green webpage, and then find the mobile application, and then excuse me, on that form for the Go Green on the application, then you can add your information. You can add your name, you can add the information that you have, and then at the next election, guess what? We're not going to send you a booklet of 100 pages, but we will then give you access to the CVIG itself in electronic format, so we save a little bit of paper. Okay, and so it's been going really well, and we would love if more of you sign up for the Go Green option, because it means less trees used, less paper used, and for us less mailing to all of you. And seeing that many of you sometimes don't even see these booklets or just completely discard these booklets, then maybe I should, if that's you, then maybe you should apply for an electronic booklet, so that way we don't waste paper and resources, and you have this available to you at any time of the day on your personal devices. Okay, so now let's open up for questions. Okay, so let's see what questions you may have. I apologize that, see, I'm not sure that you, yeah, I'm sorry that we started late. We lost some time there, but we definitely can answer questions. So if you have any questions that you have, please go ahead and type this up, and then Ryan will funnel those to me. And if you would like to say something, please raise your hand. Otherwise, I'll take the liberty to at this moment just switch off. Ryan, if you could show us just our webpage, that'll be great. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll wait to see if there's any questions. Let me see. I don't see any raised hands. Let me go through the list of participants. We do have, I believe it was Kita, right? For a phone person. Anupama is on this call. Dalvinder is on this call. Jay Agi is in this call. Janki is on this call. Mary Kenny, thank you for joining us. Sanshita and Sanjita, thank you all for joining us today. And so if some of you were not with us at the beginning of this workshop or presentation, please know that we are recording it. And so tomorrow we'll get the link, or we'll get the link from Zoom. We'll pass it on to our media team. They'll add this to our, I believe, YouTube page, and then a link will be generated. I'll add the link to our schedule that Ryan was just showing to you, and then this is how you can find this recording. Okay. And of course, if you do have any questions, feel free to email us at outreach@rov.scgov.org, or email us directly, and we'll be more than glad to provide you the information. Otherwise, everything you need to find is on our webpage. Okay, so let me see. I don't see any question. I did see Anupama has something to say. Thank you for presentation. It was informative and clear. I am not sure, is it my computer, but she cannot see me, but she can hear my voice and full presentation. Yes, I don't think I'm on webcam because I think if the screen is being shared, you don't see me. Okay. In any case, I'm just happy that you can hear us and that you can hear and see the presentation. Okay. Let me see. Ryan, I don't see any questions. Can you confirm there's no questions, right?
Correct. There are not any questions at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So then let me
I
do
do have
this.
the website loaded for you if you wanted to do a
Yeah,
tour.
yeah, I see that. Thank you so much, Ryan. So we have a few minutes to go. So let me do this. Ryan, could you just actually, um, could you scroll all the way down? So let's show all these folks. So this is what you see at the bottom, okay? I want to show it's all of you. So these are our most popular services. This is where you need to come in to find information that you're looking for. For example, right now, what is more relevant to this selection? It's only applicable to District 3. And so what you can do is you can click on look up your district and go ahead, Ryan, click on that. And so when you click on that, it brings you to this page. Okay. This gives you the information. And then at the very bottom, click on the look up your district and it takes you to our application. This is where you would enter. For example, right, can you go ahead and just enter, for example, 1555 Burger Drive? There you go. And when you enter that address, Burger Drive, and you go and see, there you go. You click on go, and it tells you everything. See, it tells you everything about where you live, your who your president is, your state assembly, the district that you belong to, state offices, and everything else. And then you will see at the very bottom, you'll see the district itself. Okay. Actually, sorry, about halfway. Just go a little bit up and you see your city council. Just lost
Right
district. There you
here.
go. There you go. There you go. Your city council district, city of San Jose, city council member, district 3. Okay. And so as you can see, you just learned that you can find all these things about what you're eligible to vote every election. Obviously, for this election, there's only one contest, which you already shown you. But when you voted last November, if that was your address, these are all the things that you were eligible to vote for. Okay. And thank you, Ryan. Could you go back a couple of pages? Let me see. And that's it. Perfect. If you scroll up just a little bit, I want to show everyone here in our meeting. So here are the buttons for the languages. Okay. So go ahead and click on any one of those, Ryan. Okay. So now we're going to the Tagalog webpage. Tagalog webpage, you can see the information or the more popular questions and features that we have. There they are again, all available, already translated. And so could you click any one of those pages, Ryan? Ta-da! So as you can see, we were just here, but it was all in English. And look at this now. Everything is in the language. Okay. And so this is just as a reminder to all of you that we really do as best as we can through your feedback, through your suggestions, through getting ready for this election, and obviously by following the election code to get where we are and provide all these services. And so we are now already at 7 o'clock. I just want to say before I leave, I appreciate all of you being with us today. What Ryan's showing to you now are all the remaining presentations that we're going to have. Okay. So tonight was the only one in English, but the next workshops, they'll all be, for example, tomorrow will be Nepali, but all of these are bilingual. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to have one of our volunteers present in Nepali. Then right after that, one of us will then present in English. Okay. And so this is open to all of you. The information obviously is the same for all of these workshops. Um, and all these again are available to you after or the next day. They'll be recorded and available to you. I would ask all of you to, when you share this information with your communities of all languages, all socioeconomic strata, it doesn't really matter, anyone that you have in your household, okay, especially if you have anyone that's coming to turning 18 years old on April 8th and they live on District 3, guess what? They get to vote. And so if you have anyone that is a young adult turning 18, be sure that they register. And if they happen to live in District 3, they'll be voting the first election ever. Okay. And now you know too that we do provide all this information in different languages. So please uh, contact us if you have any questions. Visit our webpage. Everything that you need to know is on our webpage. So before you consult YouTube or social media or do a query on Google, please just visit our webpage for the latest information and we can tell you all that you need to know. All right. And again, we're now 2 minutes past the hour. I just want to ask one more time, does anyone have anything that you would like to ask? Uh, Let me know. Wait a few seconds. Nothing to add? Okay. Well, then thank you to all of you. Again, one more time, Anupama, Davider, Jay, or last name Agui, and then Janki, Mary, Sanchita, and Sanchita. Thank you all for joining us. I'm looking forward to, if you're eligible to vote, to see you at the vote center, or make sure that you vote from home because you can. And thank you so much for your interest. Be sure to share this workshop with everyone that you know. The more people we participate, the better awareness we have amongst our community. Okay. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ryan, for doing a great job. And we'll see you all next time. Good night, everybody.